Hi everyone. Like I said just a couple of minutes ago, Lanie, you have quite an amazing story, and I am so blessed that you wanted to share that with me today. And I know, like we've spoken about the fact that if one person learns from your interview today and makes choices that could change their whole life, then it's worthwhile to you.
Yes, that's true.
If they could just make one little small choice, to listen.
Yes, because then they wouldn't be sitting like I am now.
Yeah. So we might have to speak up just a little bit.
Okay, sorry.
That's all right. You don't have to say sorry, darling. And we're nice and close and comfy because, we're in a very small room right now.
And I'm a bit nervy.
Yeah, and you're nervy and you need the cuddle and the comfort. I know, darling. And, like for my viewers, you'll see in the next interview straight after this, we'll be doing it live. So I want to just keep that bit to the second interview. So this one is about your life, Lanie, as a young Indigenous woman, and you were adopted.
Yes.
And how old were you when you were adopted?
6 weeks.
6 weeks old.
6 weeks of age I was, and I was born in Sydney at Paddington, the Women's Hospital, and grew up in Gunnedah with my adoptive parents, which are my parents.
Right, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
They may not be your birth parents, but they're your parents.
Best parents I had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were very close to your father?
Absolutely. Best man ever.
And he's still alive today?
Just had his 83rd birthday.
83, wow, that's awesome.
Oh, I know, he runs rings around us all.
So how many, did they adopt any other children?
My brother,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like close to 2 years apart. And he was 3 days old, I think.
So is he your birth brother?
No.
No? Okay. All right,
No,
so
he's white.
He's white. What about your parents?
Well, my father's, my mother was Scottish and Irish, and my father, I think, is New Zealand and Eskimo.
Wow.
Yes. So.
Wow. How
and
amazing.
he's only a little man.
Yeah.
But he's a mighty man.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, as a young person, did they? Well, obviously you'd know that you were adopted, wouldn't you? Just by
we just grew up with the word. It was
Yeah.
Never. It was never a strange word.
Yeah.
And like from Lassie movies, adoption. When Lassie had babies and they had to get taken, or somebody's adopting them. So that was never anything.
Did you know who your birth mother is? Or did you ever
Never
meet
met
her?
her. No. I tried.
Mm.
Tried for many years, and I just gave up. Of course, I am stolen generation. It was 1965, so anything up to 67, you're stolen generation.
Okay.
So then they falsified a lot of information, so I'll probably never know. So
You were blessed that you had a beautiful
I was
parents.
lucky. I was lucky because my father's words were that he chose us, and he made a promise to us that he would love us no matter what. And he's lived by that rule,
So, I'm just having a little look over there for it. So, you had how many children?
6.
6 children. So
3 daughters and
Yeah.
3 sons.
Wow, and how old were you when you had your first child?
16 pregnant and 17 when I had him.
Wow.
And he's now 35 and he lives over at The Rock at Alice Springs. He works over there.
Oh, okay. So were you happy in your marriage? Like,
I was never married.
never married?
No.
So I know we spoke about, there's something that we wanted to touch on with domestic violence with you and your life, and that's something that, do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, that happened later on. When I was about 23, 24 maybe. And I spent 10 years with my 3 youngest ones' father. And great father, absolute great father. Cannot fault him in any area of that. Whatever the children needed, whatever the children wanted, but a horrible husband, horrible partner, horrible.
Is that when the domestic violence was a part of your life?
Yes, full on. Yeah, to the point where my eldest 3 would say, stay down, don't get back up. Don't get back up, Mum, just stay down. And I would look them in the eye, or whatever state that I was in, and I used to think to myself, if I stay down, I'm teaching my children to stay down and not giving, I'm teaching them not to get back up, to give in. So I always got back up.
And it continued, did it?
Yes, for years. Years and years. Miscarriage after miscarriage. The last miscarriage I caught in my hand. Caught the baby in my hand. But I didn't... It's a terrible thing to say. But I wasn't ready for another child. I didn't want another child then. And that was after I had... Well, my youngest is like 19 now, so it would have been, whatever that child would have been 17 now. And I caught it in my hands. But it is what it is, and you just have to move on, You got to find strength. Even when you don't think you've got strength, you've got to find strength to do it.
Because very easily you could give up, couldn't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Be a fighter.
I've even tried to kill myself a couple of times. But...
Why did you want to do that?
Because he had me convinced that I was a shit mother. That I was nothing, and I used to put my kids to bed and apologise to them.
Was he Aboriginal as well?
No. He was Pakeha. He was a white Kiwi. But when he was good, he was fantastic. But when he was nasty, he was nasty. And I became nasty. And that is the reason why I started taking heroin. Because I didn't feel it. I didn't feel the hits.
So how old were you when you had your first taste of heroin?
Oh, I can't really quite remember. I think it was between 14 and 15.
14 and 15?
Yeah.
So was that, how did that happen? Just explain it to us.
Oh, well, it was kids bored in the bush, and, we gave it a try.
Yeah.
And I happened to have loved it. But I controlled it because it was just, I was still at school and I was pregnant, I had my son and trying to do the mother thing, Then I had my daughter and that was fine. Her father was the best man ever in the world, kindest, most gentlest man.
And what happened to him?
Well, he died, he passed, and a few years back now, but didn't have a mean bone in his body, But he was he wanted to stay in the country life and I wanted to move on. I didn't want to stay in Gunnedah. There was a whole world out there. I just chose the wrong world. I chose the wrong world.
So, we were talking earlier about your addiction with heroin and alcohol.
Big addiction to heroin.
So alcohol...
$1,000 a day.
$1,000 a day?
Yeah.
How did you get...
120 mils of methadone. Mad.
How did you get... How did you actually get $1,000 a day to pay for your heroin?
Because the children, my last 3 children's father, I was with him then, and he had heaps of money. And he ran building sites, and he was like, I don't know how buildings even stand up to this day, because he was always on it, you know.
So he was on heroin too?
Absolutely.
So he was on heroin, he was a builder.
Yeah. He built the Mercure Hotel in Sydney.
Wow.
From the beginning, from the bottom right to the top.
Wow.
Our whole house was like tie wire. So you give me a pair of nips and wire, and I can fix the coat hanger, I can your curtains falling down, give me the tie wire, and yeah, I learnt that one.
Wow.
And I learnt to take a hit.
So,
and I learnt to throw one back.
Oh, there's just so much going on. I don't know how you've lived what you've lived, and to me, like when I speak to you, and we've had conversations for the last couple of hours, like getting ready for now.
Yeah, because I was highly nervous.
Yeah, very nervous because...
Because I don't often talk about my life.
Yeah, and this is
except to my kids and Alana.
And you were saying to me, like, the important thing is, obviously, like I said a minute ago, that if you could just help one person make other choices.
Domestic violence, man, is... well, I had every form of it. I had physical, emotional, and mental. And the physical side of it, you heal. Might take you a while. Well, my daughter, she nursed me back. But it took her 8 weeks. Because I double breathed because I had all my ribs broken. All but 2. Yeah, not a particularly nice time. But took her 8 weeks. I couldn't sneeze, I couldn't cough. Breathing, you know, it was just like, you know. But the mental side and the emotional side stay with you forever. They're scars that will never, ever, never go. Very toxic, you know. And out of that comes depression, comes self-doubt, comes not, you know, like you don't deserve anything good in your life because it's been drummed into you over the years.
That you don't feel worthy.
Yeah, yeah. And that continued. The mental part of it was the worst. You know, and it still haunts me to this day. And even though I found other strategies of working around it, but for a very long time all I wanted to do was kill myself. And I tried.
What did you try?
Oh, I OD'd on tablets, tried to OD on everything possible. I shouldn't laugh, but when I think about it now, it was stupid because of what I would have missed out on, you know. But in that frame of mind, which is highly fragile, you don't think, you just want out. You know, and then you're going to dig deep. That's when you have to dig deep. And that's when you actually have to find another side of yourself and a deeper belief in yourself, which comes with a struggle to pull yourself out of it, you know, and find something to live for. And so, my children were my saving grace, really, because they lived it with me. Not my three youngest ones. They were, I'd left him by then. Well, they don't have memories of it. But my three big ones, they have memories of it. And they say, no, you're right, Mum, you're right. And they're always encouraging me. And I'd break down and cry and say, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And like, I was still in that. I still let him get in my head. And then, I don't know, one day I just got out of it. I don't know how. But it was very toxic. Toxic. To the point where he would have me by the throat and I was like 45 kilos and up against the wall with my feet off the ground because he was 6'3.5". And I'm just like this little thing, you know, at the time. Well, I'm only short anyway. I'm just fat now. But, and he'd have his, I'll kill you. And I used to look him in the face and say, do it. Do it. Do whatever you want, but I will not break to you. I will not bend to you. Break everything to me, but you can't have me. You can't take me from me. And I refuse to let you take me. You can do whatever you want. Don't hurt my kids. And you can't have my soul.
So something that we're going to touch on part 2, but Lanie is dying, and it just sounds so strange to even say that. So we're going to touch on that bit in part 2 of today's interview. But right now we've got the title of I Should Have Listened to My Doctor. Because this is about the abuse that you had on your own body.
Oh, well, it was alcohol too.
Alcohol, heroin, and
something when I got off the heroin...
That was like 20 years, wasn't it, heroin?
Yes, and it's been 20 years I've been clean. And, well, I'm 54 in September, so you do the maths, but it was I don't know how I survived half the things I have literally survived. It's like, I look back, you know, and I can't even imagine myself like that now. But I was a bitch. Sorry for saying that, or swearing, excuse me, but I thought I was 6 foot tall and bulletproof. I was just like the most horriblest version of me because I had to fight because I was walking on eggshells all the time. Just when you thought that you weren't going to get flogged, you got flogged. Just when you thought you were going to get flogged, nothing happened. You know? So it was like eggshells. Toxic.
So because you were, and this is about, like we were talking about the fact that, you know, you'd had abused your body that badly and you'd been abused, you know, and you'd gone to the doctors. What was the first, like, doctor's appointment that you had what did they kind of say to you then? What was the first thing that happened?
Way back.
Way back.
They said, you need to... I think basically they were trying to tell me to stop or I'll regret it in years to come.
So stop doing what you're doing to your body.
But I never did.
Yeah. So you didn't listen to the doctor?
No, because even after I left, I still had all the mental abuse happening, rolling around in my head. So I stopped taking heroin, and then I went to speed because I justified it because heroin was my drug. It was my first love. It was like everything to me. So speed became like, swap the witch with the bitch, how you go. And then I done the rich man speed, I done the coke. Then I sold, and I'd sell it all. I used to sell them. And then I'd sell eckies and trips and everything. I had my fingers in every pie possible.
And meanwhile,
because I had myself justified.
Yeah.
Saying I'm not touching heroin.
I'm not touching heroin, but I'm touching everything else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stupidly, yes.
And,
And the doctors did say to me,
stop it.
Stop it. And the only reason they knew about it is because I can't take acid. Because it will bring on a period. Which you don't want that when you're at the peak of, start bleeding. And it's a chemical thing that it reacts with my body. And so I went to the doctors and I said, I know what's going on, but this is what's going on. I told him the truth. He said, you have to stop because you don't see it now, but years down the road, if you survive what you're doing to yourself now, you'll pay for it. And hence here I am, paying for it.
So your plea is to anyone out there watching today's show that if you're abusing your body in any way, stop. Because you're gonna find out by part 2. Anyway, the next show.
Don't live in domestic violence. They hit the one once, they won't stop. No matter how many times you excuse it.
And look after your body. Like if your doctor's saying to you, stop abusing your body. Stop taking drugs, stop doing this, stop doing that, have this test, have that test.
You have to listen, it's imperative.
Yeah.
Imperative. Because I would not be sitting here in this position today if I had listened 20 years ago. But I just continued and continued and continued. And I just resigned to the fact that's what I was going to be. No, because I should have put up and fought then for myself. But I didn't. But it's imperative to listen and to stop and to go, okay, I don't want to be like me. I don't want to be like her, because...
But you don't see that then, when you're young.
Because you think you're bulletproof.
Yeah.
You think that it won't happen to me, Nah, they're just talking, rubbish, But matter of fact, they're not. When the truth comes out, 20 years later, they're telling me the truth way back then.
Yeah, and so you write what I call a journal.
Yeah, and I tell you it's just what's in my head.
Yeah, it's what's in your head.
Yeah.
I say it's your journal because there's some incredible writings in here. But there is one in particular that... Okay, it's not that one. Right, we need to do...
This one. This one holds so much meaning. This is 20 years ago.
This is in the year 2000 you wrote this. And this is titled The Devil's Mistress. And this is about your love for heroin.
Yeah, this is me when I was very young at being clean. I don't know. Isaac was born. None of my children were born addicted, so let's get that clear. Because I did have sense, or God was watching over me. I don't know what you want to call it, but this is me. This is like New Year's Eve, because of 2000, and I was too scared to go out because I knew I'd come across somebody. So I was fighting a war within myself. Oh, don't, you know, listen to yourself, because you're just going to go straight, you know, that backslide straight down the mud hill and into that swamp of
The temptation.
ugh.
So you stayed home New Year's
Yeah.
Eve in the year 2000
Yeah.
because you knew that you would be tempted.
I knew I would. I knew.
Yeah. So this is called The Devil's Mistress. And I'll read it because I know you're really wearing out now, and like you say to me, sometimes you forget things and you just can't remember
Yeah, I do.
what's going on. So I probably won't read it as you want it, but
No, you just read it out, you say.
yeah. We have 7 wonders of the world. We have 7 deadly sins. We play our lives like poker, some gamble and some fold. Some say that most of us have a spiritual warfare around us, in meaning that angels stand before us to guard us, to keep the devil's greatest temptress away that you'll always need more of. She whispers ever so softly that only you can hear, and we know that if we come face to face with her, we won't be able to trust ourselves. So when you hear that soft whisper and you know that she is near, brace yourself and hold on tight, for it's your soul she's come to seize. So when you sit alone at night and you feel the hair stand up upon your neck, know the devil sent his mistress. So stand up to her and fight, for if you don't, she'll release the devil's hounds as she comes to you on his behalf, for it's your soul she's come to claim. So guard your soul, or otherwise your soul will be her next.
Mm.
That is just incredible
Well,
writing.
The meaning of all this is wanting a taste of heroin. So that's the devil's mistress, you know, because I called methadone, which I was on for 10 years, the devil's handcuffs.
Wow, and that's like,
I called it the devil's handcuffs.
why is that? Why do you call it devil's
Because you're
handcuffs?
locked into it. You're locked into an addiction. And instead of like dropping your dose and weaning off it, they put you up. You know, they put you up because they think you're skittish and they think that you're not coping. So they up your dose. So you're locked into like a contract of evilness that you feel like you can't get out of. So, and the whispers are, I want a shot. I really, really want to feel the needle. I really, really want a shot of heroin. That's the mistress. That's the drug. She's the drug. The mistress is the drug. And the devil just sits and waits for us. You know, he just bides his time, waits for us to give in.
So how did you stop the methadone? Like, was the methadone just as evil to you?
Oh man, that was... I went cold turkey.
Wow.
And I had Christian friends that were ministers. And I said to them, I said, I cannot live like this any longer. And I just found out I was pregnant with my youngest son, and I did not want to, because it's called CUPS, which is chemical use in pregnancies. And I did not want to do it, you know. I didn't do it with any of the other ones, but my addiction was really quite high. So that's when I was on $1,000 a day and 120 milligrams of methadone. Well, I was up to 180, but got me down to 120. And I thought, I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. And then CUPS rang up these friends of mine that had their own church and everything. Well, I don't think they actually had their church. I think they were just coming out of their doctrine. And They said, okay, we'll look after you. So we went, nobody touched me because I was pregnant. And they'd say to me...
What year was this?
That was 1999. 1999. And I fought them and fought every doctor from King's Cross right through to Lidcombe. And they said, we're not touching you because either you'll die or the baby will die, you'll get so far and then the baby will die. You'll die or both of you will die. And we're not touching you. So I walked into this little chapel with my friend just before she got her own church. And I said, something's got to give, So, and I prayed. I think it's the first time I ever actually meant heartfully to pray. Like, from my heart, from every part of me. I said, okay, is this going to be the case? I can't cope with losing my child. I can cope with me dying because it's my own stupidity. But if you're going to take us both. And then I retracted that. And I rebuked it. I rebuked that, Lord. Because then I was going to leave my kids behind.
Mm.
And I said, well, I laid at your feet. And I didn't have my friend come in with me. This is the weird thing, Kelly. And it wasn't because I was on drugs. It was a physical thing that actually happened to me. There was nobody in that little tiny chapel at Chester Hill, at the Bible College. And it's just a little tiny little chapel. And I was crying heartfully and praying heartfully, saying, I can't do it, I can't do this any longer. And then next thing, this person was sitting beside me like you and me today. Like, and I said, where did you come from? Where did you come from? And he just done that to me. And he said, you, my child, are like a desert rose. You lay dormant. And then when the rain hits you, when it's your time to bloom, you'll come up from the sand and you'll bloom. I didn't understand it. I was thinking, oh my God, I'm tripping out. I've lost it. I finally have gone mad.
I'm dreaming. Tell them I'm dreaming.
No, I literally finally thought I'd gone mad. And, yeah. Anyway, so, long story short, CUPS, which is chemical use in pregnancy, rang up my friends and they said, if you continue this, you are helping her. And do you understand that if anything happens to her or the baby, you can legally be charged for manslaughter.
Wow.
And that's how heavy it was, because my addiction and everything was so erratic. It was so off tap. And yeah, I pulled through it. I just
go, wow, you pulled through it.
Yeah.
And like...
Can I please have a tissue?
Sweetie, of course you can have whatever you want. Well, not whatever you want, because I don't know whether I can get it for you right now.
Yeah, well,
And we
there are limitations in this world. But,
like... Wow. I just think of, life in general. And I just think, well, we're all blessed to have the time that we have. And we want to do the most beautiful thing for our families, children, loved ones.
I went to rehab after that.
So you had the baby first and then went to rehab?
No, I went to rehab while I was pregnant with with my son.
Wow. That would have been
Yeah.
the hardest thing in the world.
It was the safest thing in the world,
Yeah. Oh.
you know? Because what I found in my addiction was every time I tried to get straight, every time I tried to do the right thing, I always surrounded myself with the same company. And then I was trying to do it for my kids, I was trying to do it for my parents, I was trying to do it for whoever. Till I finally worked out I had to do it for myself. Yeah.
And that's the difference, isn't it?
Well, if you don't, you're never going to do it. Because you'll fail. You'll fail. And no matter how much help is out there, or how much help people offer you, or support, or anything, it's not going to work. And it will not work until you want to work. And for me, I had to be broken. Mm-hmm. I had to be broken. I had to be thrown into the pit of hell and claw my way out. And for me, I have to feel things. I have to literally, emotionally fight to get to where I want to be.
And you did it that, and that's...
And I done it cold turkey, and that was the most painful thing in the world. Spewing diarrhea, hot and cold sweats, knees aching, legs aching. It was just like...
How long did it take you to get through it?
Look, I'm still getting through it.
20 years later.
Yeah. Because I don't say I'm clean. I just say I'm in recovery. To this day. You know? I was a heroin addict and I'm still in recovery. And I keep that at the very forefront of myself, of my mind. Because I was not a nice person. I was horrible. Horrible person. Horrible. But I was horrible, heartbroken, distraught, emotionally abused, physically abused, had no self-worth. You know, my life was just broken. It was a broken mess of...
But now you've got to the stage where...
And you know what, if I had listened, Kelly, if I had listened...
You would have made changes.
Good Lord, yes. Yes.
And that's the message that
But
we
I
want to
didn't
get
listen.
across today, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, make the changes, look after your body. If your doctor tells you that there's something wrong with you...
Listen.
And, you know, like, you have to listen. Lanie wouldn't be where she is today. Like, and we're going to talk about that. We're just going to now take a break before our part 2. And I'm going to thank some of the people that have tuned in right now. Like I said, we're on location here in Wollongong. So we've got Phoebe Talbot, thank you so much. Peter Egan Lee, Mark Beresford, thank you, Mark. Sharon Sharp, Lisa Haynes, Ian Edwards, Rebecca Patterson, thank you, Rebecca. Mel Kate, Louise Melrose Hanley, Kathy Hobbins, Christina Amond, Linda Dixon, and Margaret Moffat, Mark Jolly Boyle, Kerry Lee, thank you, Kerry Lee, Sarah Van Dyke, Alana Jack, and Lee Jones, thank you. Like, we're just smiling at some of those names,
Yes.
and knowing that right now we're just going to take a little break from the show. We're going to thank everyone, and we just need to know, what is your message of hope to someone out there right now that's watching this show that could be very well in the same situation that you're in?
Okay. Drug-wise, get yourself help. Find rehab. Find good support. Remove yourself from your friends, the circle that you live in, because you'll fail. Domestic violence hits first time, it will never stop. narcissists. They self-blame. They blame you instead of themselves. I mean, get out, run and live. Run and live.
Beautiful.
Run and live.
Beautiful, darling.
Do not be like me.
Beautiful.
Do not be stupid and not listen.
So, you know, from us to you.
Well, that's why I'm dying.
Yeah. So we're going to come back in a couple of minutes and we'll be having part 2. Thank you, everyone, and know that in life, no matter what, you're going to be okay. Thumbs up to everyone out there. Thank you, guys.